Hi, it's Alaska Granny. It's a beautiful day to be alive. Look at the wonderful sunrise we had this morning. The sky was so beautiful and the colors, it almost seems like it can't be real, but it is. Isn't this just beautiful? I love taking pictures of the sky. In so many places, the colors are just magnificent. It always reminds me to wake up and say, thank you, Lord, for another wonderful day and count my blessings, because we truly are blessed, even if we're living in a time of that's scary and uncertainty. We're still very blessed for all of the things that we do have and the opportunities we still have. Well, I went to Fred Meyer's today, which is part of Kroger, and guess what? They were loaded up with canning supplies. The traditional canning season is here, so it's time to stock up if these are supplies that you use. My experience, once the canning supplies come out, within a month or two, you're scraping to find them if you want them. Don't wait until the day you're going to use them. Stock up when you see them. That's how you take advantage of your opportunities. Fred Meyer's has the regular mouth half pint jars. Those are very popular in Alaska because we have fishing season, we catch a lot of salmon. That is a wonderful sized jar for canning your salmon, and so that's very popular. I think those are also nice for jam, but I particularly like them for salmon. The sign says low price $19.99 for select varieties, but they weren't all that much. Some of them were less. They had pint jars are probably $17.99. The sign by the quart size, regular mouth quart size jars was $19.99. As the jars were bigger, so was the price. So the half pint was $16.99, the pint was $17.99, and the quart was $19.99. I did notice the only ones that were wide mouth were the half pint. They had lids with rings for $8.99 and regular mouth lids, just the lids, 12 count for $5.49. They did not have any wide mouth lids or wide mouth lids and rings, which are my favorite, but you have to get what you can get. So that's why if you have a variety of jars, make sure you have a variety of lids. They had a nice variety of salts that you would want for canning. They have the coarse kosher salt without iodine, which is what you want when you're canning. The Morton coarse kosher salt was $4.79 and the Kroger brand was $3.99. If you look at the top shelf there, they had brown sugar, $4.29 for brown sugar, which I thought that's increased a lot. The small containers of salt have gone up in price to $1.49. Remember when you could get a handful of them for that price? They had Gulf Paraffin Canning Wax for $4.49. They also had ball freezer jars for $9.49. I've not tried those, and I would be interested to hear if you have tried these and if you like them. They've changed what they're like. I have used other of the ball freezer jars, but they changed what they're like. The ones that I use, they don't make anymore, so I was wondering if these are going to be an addition that I should have. And you can see there was a spot for regular caps, and they're gone. Here's something you don't see very often. The pressure canners, they had several of the Presto pressure canners, and I didn't get a picture of the price, but I think it was about $159. They had the Presto digital pressure canner on sale from $349.99 to $329.99. And it's interesting because it says the date of 6/21/22, and that date is long gone, but it's still on sale. So that's nice to see if it's something you want. Look at this, 3 packs of the Coleman Fuel, the little propane tanks. Hold on to your heart, 3-pack is on sale, reduced from $23.99 to $20.99. I guess the days of picking them up for about $3 each are completely in the past. Fred Meyer's had these nice little Coughlin emergency stoves. If you don't have any emergency stove, check these out. It's a sturdy little metal frame. It folds out. The sides fold up, and then it comes with these little fuel tablets, which I think are very toxic smelling, but you can see you can put little candles in there. I have several of these and they work very nicely. So you can get one of these emergency stoves for $5.19, reduced from $6.49. then you can get some of the little tea candles and then some little pot, and you should use it with a lid so that you hold the heat in. And then you'll have something for emergency cooking. And if you're just using the candles, this would be perfectly safe to use inside. Those hexamine tablets that come with them, I think they're extremely toxic, and I try never to use those. But I guess in a real SHTF apocalypse, I would be glad to do anything if I needed to. I also made a stop at Cabela's, and something to think about are the bear attack deterrents. They had a lot of them in stock. It's made out of capsaicin, which is like a hot pepper spray, and it fires up to 30 feet. And you have a 2-pack for $69.99. The thing to remember about bear spray is it saves you from a dangerous encounter. It doesn't have to be a bear. Think about anything that could try to attack you, and you might want to have some bear spray with you. But do check your rules and regulations, the laws where you are. Make sure that you're only carrying things that are legal. And it was surprising to me, someone was signing up to join the Cabela's credit card club, and they pulled out a big old knife. Here's your free knife and a hat. And I thought, well, we're not in New York City, are we? It's nice to be in Alaska where you're allowed to have any kind of a knife that you want. There aren't any restrictive rules on what you can carry. So they're perfectly fine gifting it to you at Cabela's, and then it's up to you though to treat it safely. Something I did pick up when I was at Fred Meyer's was an additional bottle of lamp oil, because I have some oil lamps, and you know, in a grid down situation, it's going to be nice to have different ways to have light in your home. So be sure that you have some candles, some oil lamps, solar lights, battery operated lights. Have a different variety and learn how to use them. For example, of oil lamps, and make sure any lamps you have spare wicks to go with it and a way to light them. So this was $9.97, I think. So I thought it's pretty expensive, but it's certainly priceless if there's a power outage and I need some extra lights. Gasoline has stayed the same at $5.59 a gallon, and the price of propane is $4 a gallon. I was looking at the propane tank exchange where you can either trade in your tank and get one that's full, and it was $19 and something cents, and then to actually buy one was 56 something. So those prices I don't think have gone up as dramatically as the price of other things, and so we still have options. So get some supplies, make sure you have fuel to use those supplies, and keep stockpiling things that you know you can use. Think about all of the things that you do every day and try to have a way to make sure that you can keep your life rolling just the way you like. What are the prices and the availability of canning supplies where you are? Put it in the comments below so we can help learn from each other. And if you have any tips and tricks on how to make sure that you can have the supplies you need, we'd like to learn about that too. If you enjoyed my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might like it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.